best boxing podcast in the world.
Call the cops on me. On a mission to be champs since they let me free. Prepare for combat, my adversaries crumble. Face it, I got a reputation for damage. Busters get ready to rumble. They lock me in a cell, have me trapped in a living hell. Though not guilty, I'm still in jail. Brother, I serve my time like a soldier. Maintain composure. My shadow boxing the fight to the death. Busting boulders. Every boxer with a pair of gloves. Best give up love. Here's a man from the makings of a thug. A lethal weapon, mind sharp. And in my heart, there's a wish to shake the world with the flurry of my black fist. Now once a high school dropout, now I'm the $1 million champ. Who's the next to get knocked out? Straight out of Brooklyn and worldwide.
What's going on, everybody? Another episode of CSBS Show. Andrew here, my boy JP. JP, what's up, man?
Man, we burning up.
Hot as a mother. First things first, follow us on Twitter at CheapSeatsBox, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, rate, review. You've been an unofficial sponsor. You take the time to shout out the show like that, we will take the time out to honor you by giving you the unofficial sponsor tag. So go ahead and do that. It just keeps the show noticeable. Follow the show on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. And welcome to all the listeners on all the other platforms. It's everywhere. Doing big things, right? Something like that. I don't know. It's a dead time of the boxing year. I don't know if it's doing big things.
All right.
Yeah, we all right. JP, this last week, really, I'm not talking the Clarissa Shields fight. I can give a shit less about her and Hammer. But young junior welterweight Josh Taylor gets the win against Victor Postol. It was a hard fought fight. I think a great fight, great building experience for him. Probably losing early. I say probably because of the scorecards. Comes back, finishes strong, gets a knockdown. 8th, 9th round, I can't remember now. My brain is all fucked up right now. But closes strong, gets the victory. I think a great learning experience, and puts him in line for a Jose Ramirez title fight, seeing how the Rougarou is going into the World Boxing Super Series. JP, just that performance, what do you think, man?
Interesting going into the future. Because now 140 is what? Because Rougarou's on the sidelines. He's probably number one, in line, basically. He's a good fighter. This is a great win. But like you said, there's a lot of home cooking in that judging. And when you see a fighter come off beating somebody of that caliber, they usually got some extra. So he might be the most dangerous person right now as far as momentum and confidence. So to beat him, you really going to have to beat him. So I like it. I'm still kind of mad, Got to say goodbye to Postal. It's just like,
I think it was a good showing by Postal, and he showed that he wasn't finished by no stretch. And all it really does is show that Josh Taylor is, at this point, I think, the most experienced 140 guy, especially the young guys. I guess you could put, Lipinets up there because he fought and lost to Mikey. I guess Postal could be fought Taylor and and Crawford at 140. But as far as the young undefeated guys, those three, Ramirez, why am I blanking on Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor? He's the most tested guy at this point. And like I said, I don't think the rumors early were that he was going to go into it. I don't think that Taylor's going to go into that tournament, especially with Eddie Hearn getting the rights to it on DAZN. That's not going to go over well. And plus the fact that Prograis going into it, and him being the WBC interim champion, it slides him right into being the mandatory for Jose Ramirez, and Jose Ramirez isn't going into it. So whoever comes out of the 140 tournament is going to have 3 belts at the end, hopefully, if everything goes right. And then, the winner of the WBSS, I think will line up to have a total unification of undisputed 140 belt, and that'd be pretty cool, because it literally went from being
Nothing.
Then you had a unified champion to a total, an undisputed champion. He gave up all his belts to just consolidating him back again. That won't last long because all those guys will want their cuts. You know how that shit goes. But Josh Taylor moving forward, I think him and Jose Ramirez is a great fight, especially at their level and where they're at in their careers. But I think those scorecards will show that Jose Ramirez goes, I'm selling 13,000. You're not quite there yet at the 13,000 range. Maybe he was on this one. I don't think it was that level. Maybe 8,000-9,000. You're coming here and I'm the champ, so you're coming to Fresno because I'm damn sure not going to Scotland.
You know, one of the things is for one of those belts is don't be surprised if fighters look for circumventing the Super Series to get the one little belt in the open. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And while everybody else is going through the tournament, they're going to try to, be a champ, and then they'll be first in line for a complete unification. They just got to be a one-stop shop. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody wins or retains and just chills out fighting for a while and just waits it out and then like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this undisputed unification thing. Here we go, because they're going to ride the wave of the tournament itself. So somebody's going to get cussed out, along the way. That's just how I look at it.
That pretty much says all that I cared about this last weekend. If you want to talk...
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead, man, because I didn't watch any of it. I saw the post-fight stuff.
Well,
it's whatever to me. I mean, then this is the only reason why. And this is with the Clarissa Shields, the women's. It's not even women's boxing. I like when it's done at a high level. I can enjoy a women's fight, no problem. It just doesn't seem like it's the same sport sometimes. Technique-wise, it's pretty horrendous. Depth-wise is even more horrendous. And the fact is I would have to really try to think hard to name 5 women boxers right now. I probably could. Taylor. Yeah, see, we're already starting to struggle.
All right, whatever.
There's that.
Ain't the point.
And the one chick who fought on HBO, I don't know who the fucking name is. What was that?
Is it Tory Hunt?
I don't know who the fuck that is. I have no idea. I'm literally, and something Esparza. See? You see how deep and they probably none of them fight in the same division except 2 of them. And that's why at this point I don't care. I mean, I guess it did pretty decent ratings for a show box, so good for them. Not hating against it, it was just not for me. I mean, maybe they can build something better for her and Hammer fight, maybe. I mean, hey, I've watched my share of the coal miners' daughters fights back in the day. I've even watched some of the horrific Layla Ali fights, like with the Ali Frazier 4, the women. I've seen some of them bad fights. I've seen Mia St. John fight, actually live on a Mayweather. She was the main event because she fought after Mayweather, so I guess she was the main event. Not really. I guess it's the walkout bout, but still, however you want to call it. But it's just not my thing, man. I don't know. It's just not deep enough for me.
What I liked about it, there was an interview prior to the fight with Shields and Ward. And she kept saying, Ward was like, you got to practice on your craft. You just can't go in there. You got to learn how to outthink people, outmaneuver people, do things differently, give people different looks so you can wear people out. And she's like, I know how to do all that, but I just want to get in there and I want to bang. And she went in there, and she got in there, and she wanted to bang, and she got dropped. And then she was like, oh, well, okay. I really got a box too. Yeah. And it was like a perfect scenario for a person who, if you feel like you know what you do well and what you want to do well, and somebody who's been around the block, like, look, there's other ways you need to go about this because getting hit all the time is not a good idea. And I think that was a perfect thing because her opponent came with it. Like the same way you talking about the scorecards in Scotland, they gave a little too many rounds to her in Detroit. Like, that was a closer fight. It was a competitive fight. So, to me, that was the best part of the fight. When you couple those two things together, are they trying to build the mega fight between the two ladies? Absolutely. But I kind of like, ironically, if Shields was a guy, her talking would sell tickets. So she need to keep talking, because eventually it's going to sell more tickets. Because, I mean, some of these dudes who dry in boxing need to get some lessons right now, because she's good at it. So that's pretty much it I'm going to say about that.
This weekend, another week of, I mean, let's be honest, the highlight of the week is definitely the return of Joe Smith Jr. Not really. Didn't even know he was fighting. Found out he was fighting this week. The return of Mike Alvarado. Mike Alvarado's fighting this week. What other guy can we dig up? No, I think the only fight, and it's not. I'm not even gonna break it down, man. Look, Zurdo Ramirez going to fight in Oklahoma against something Angulo, a guy that nobody's ever seen except a couple highlights on a film, some Colombian guy. Let's just go. I'm gonna go right into my disappointment of Zurdo Ramirez, a guy who had kind of went to the boring route. His fights had gotten monotonous. He steps up, fights Arthur Abraham, shuts him out. Actually, a really good showing. Does better against Abraham than the guy like Chris Eubank Jr. did. So you had to respect, even though it was an older, faded version of Arthur Abraham, you had to respect how well he boxed and basically shutting him out. And then since then, the title run has been just horrific. And it is culminated with this fight. I think Arum doesn't know what to do with this guy. He's sending him to Corpus Christi, Texas, and then to Oklahoma City. It's like he is lost on what to do with Ramirez, because Ramirez just isn't moving the needle. A Mexican fighter who's big, long, and can box and is relentless, will not stop throwing punches, cannot find a fan base. And I think that just perplexes Arum, because that should sell, but it doesn't.
Right. He's going to have to put him on the undercard with some of his bigger draws.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't... If you want success, you're going to have to hitch him to a couple of people. I mean, that's just the way it's going to go. He probably would have been better with Ramirez.
Yes.
You know? Fresno, like, okay, we got... Cool.
Yeah.
Let's get it. He got some eyes, got some tickets. You know? Maybe an undercard, under Loma. You know, you got to put him somewhere. He could have, I mean, you could have spotted him a couple more weeks, and he could have been on undercard of Matisse and Pacquiao.
Well, here's the thing, too. I think the Ramirez fight was perfect to put him on, but they're trying to fill these spots with the app and whatever shows that they're going to make it to the ESPN airwaves, right? And they're just trying to fill space, and then so what you get is you get a lot of... Honestly, let's just be honest with what's going on. You're getting a lot of, in this ESPN deal, what you got with the PBC deals, where you're like, wow, if this fight and this fight were on the same card would be better. But what we have is two individual cards that just don't do much for me. Now, the Ramirez fight, the Jose Ramirez fight, doesn't really move the needle, but it's his homecoming with his title, gets his option out the way, right? He gets to get his one, his fight, you know. He gets his victory lap at home. But you get 13,000 people there, a predominantly Mexican area, right? Farming area. They're going to gravitate to a guy like Zurdo Ramirez. And, you know, it'll put him in front of a bigger audience. And all of a sudden, yeah, they're probably two rollover fights, but they're both two champions. So you got two champions making title defenses, puts eyes on them. I think that's the way they should have went. Like I said, I just think that at this point, he's lost with what to do with him, and also having trouble filling so many spots with a limited roster.
See, here's a problem. When we talked about this a long time ago, I said all these promoters are going to try to do the exact same thing Al Heyman did, but they took him to court for it. PBC's problem was this. They had so many fighters. You could be like, dude, you can make better cards because you got so many people.
Yeah.
Now, Arum and probably Oscar are the reverse. You can't put on as many cards because you don't have as many people. So his best option is do what Don King used to do. Put everybody on the same freaking card and be like, yo, I paid. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to see this fight and this fight and this fight tonight. That's what you do. Can a network say, okay, you got 2, 3, 4, 5 million views consistently, but you did it in instead of once a month, maybe twice in 3 months. Like, well, you bringing us a lot of attention, so we could balance that out. But he's on the wrong page with that. Like, you're gonna have to ride Lomachenko. You're gonna have to ride Manny as long as that lasts. You're gonna have to ride Bud as long as that lasts. And if you really want to get to it, you got Ramirez, you don't use him. You got Walters, you don't use him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, you can mix and match some things if you want to. And there's all the young guns that you got.
Yeah. Oscar Valdez is one. I don't know. The judgment is not being held. I said I was going to hold off judgment on this, but this ESPN deal just isn't doing it for me. The one thing I will say about the app and what he's doing with the app is he isn't just limiting it to him and top ranked fighter. I mean, he's got a lot of UK, a lot of overseas cars just in general,
right?
Which is a good thing. So he's doing the rollout with the app the right way. As far as the TV version of it, not as much. I think you get much better. You're getting a much better showing on the app at this point, But also, when Top Rank was moving to ESPN, you didn't think that you were going to buy another app just to see all the top fighters, Lomachenko and Crawford, and whoever else, because they're all eventually moving to that. They can say whatever they want. They're all eventually moving to that platform. Like Ramirez wins. I don't think there's any doubt about that. If he doesn't, well then, good. It's an end of a miserable run. But they need to do something with him. There needs to be some kind of unification after this. I mean, if you got to go with the winner of Groves and Callum Smith, then that's what you got to do. You got to do something. Even if he loses, a loss against the winner of the World Boxing Super Series, if that ever actually does happen, in the finals, I don't even think that's as detrimental as some of these victories against lower level competitions as a champion. So I think they got to make a decision with them and find a direction in which to put Zurdo Ramirez. Now, the big news. I mean, it's so shocking. If you're shocked by it, you obviously didn't listen to last week's show. Or anybody with any kind of brain. Somehow the Joshua Wilder fight didn't get made. I was shocked. Not as shocked as the people who are outraged by it. Like, they can't see it for what it is. It's all promotion. It's all for show. If it's real, it's like this. I was talking to a buddy at work. Talking to Jermaine at work. I told him, ain't it funny? Joshua Wilder, going to get made. Almost 95% there. Doesn't get made. Well, we knew that. Golovkin and Canelo. We knew that fight was going to get made. There was no doubt that fight was going to get made. Yet, it doesn't look like it's going to get made. They just said that's it. It's just their last offer. Not going to happen. So what happens? Of course, that Canelo fight gets signed, and the Wilder-Joshua fight doesn't get signed. I mean, if you can't see that they're playing you for fools, and if you fall for it, then you're a fool. Not our listeners. We talked about that last week. Our listeners are smart enough to understand the game. But who's shocked by it? And in the end, nobody's ducking nobody. I'm pretty sure they got a pretty good understanding. Look, we're gonna build this motherfucker up, and next year we're gonna sell 90,000 seats in Wembley, and you're gonna make you a nice chunk of change. Anytime you hear flat fee almost guarantees. Like, we're not doing this right now. Don't worry, we're gonna build this shit up.
No, I'm shocked. I'm appalled. He's ducking him.
Yeah, ducking.
He said all these things that he was going to do. He didn't do none of them. The fight was almost signed, and then Povetkin Well, I mean, but see, okay, maybe they meant it was almost signed with Povetkin.
Yeah.
Okay. No, this is boxing. You would never have a fighter say he's going to fight somebody and not fight somebody. I've never seen that before.
Man.
I've never seen somebody say, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. You're going to do this. That's how we're going to fight. Well, I'm going to do all that. But we're not fighting. I've never seen that before.
Never.
You know? I've never seen fighters get mad at each other over Twitter before.
Yeah.
Never.
And like I said last week, starting next year, this stuff will all start again with Crawford and Spence. About May of next year, that stuff will all start. People will be picking sides. Oh, see, he's ducking. Oh, he don't want it. Well, he don't want it. It's the same shit, man.
And I could have swore we said this, I don't know, year, 2 years, 3 years, 15 years ago. These guys are trying to do the Mayweather-Pacquiao route and prolonging the fight, but they really don't have careers that could back it up, so they just doing a dog and pony show. And it seems to me that this keeps happening over and over again, and everybody's surprised. So I'm surprised too. I can't believe this shit happened.
It's crazy. It's just all part of the promotion, people. Don't get worked up about it. When people do it, it still cracks me up. You guys have seen it over and over again.
You know what?
It's not a shock that this stuff is going to happen. So it's just funny how many people fall into it. What it shows me is how many, especially Twitter boxing fans, have barely started watching the sport in the last 5 years because they still fall for all this bullshit. Any older fan is like, nah, we're good.
Listen, if you okay, you do realize most of the people that are shocked are the same people that thought Conor McGregor is going to beat the brakes off of Floyd. We're going to buy this pay-per-view to see something unprecedented. Exactly. I want to see the UFC, MMA. Matter of fact, won't you go to the MMA? Listen, you're the same people. You know what? Some of y'all still got y'all WrestleMania t-shirts. You know, y'all still got the old John Cena belt spinning around in the house. I mean, damn. If we're talking about entertainment and build-up, and for anybody who's upset about this, I got to ask you a question. If you're so upset and this bothers you, how many times has this happened already that you fell for? Or should I ask you this? How many times have you forgot this happened and now this is just the first time to you? Oh, I could ask you this. Who's going to happen to next? Because it's coming again. But you know what? That sounds like too much reality.
Yeah.
This is fake news.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Honestly, man, there really is just so little to talk about right now. I wanted to start off just a new little segment here and there called Unpopular Opinions. Now, I'll share this to you, something I did on Twitter. I just told you about just the topic, but not a specific. So when we're short on stuff, and we'll close this out here pretty soon, and probably no show next week, guys. 4th of July week, probably not gonna have no show.
Party! Oh.
But I was talking about who do you think the 3 best American fighters are, and of course it came up. Bud 1, Mikey 2, Spence 3. And I had the unpopular opinion. I said, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go Charlo 3. Not the most popular opinion. I'm gonna go Jamal Charlo number 3. And the reason why was this was, well, Jamal's already won 1 title in 1 weight class, a secondary title in a second class. So to me, that's a little bit more established. resume wise, I think they're pretty fucking close, man. I mean, you could say Brooke was spent goods plus the going up, coming down thing. You know, people want to give him a lot of credit for that, but yet they'll take away credit from Tarver for knocking out Jones, that wasn't the first fight that Jones had came back. That was the second fight.
Right.
So they like take points away from that, but give full credit to Spence. So you could say that. I wouldn't say it. Hey, he made the weight. He wanted the fight. He fought it. So be it. A lot of people give him tons of credit for the Peterson fight and handling going through a veteran like that. Well, we saw Matisse do it at 140. So it's easy to say that. So, I mean, you could break down both of them. But this is how I separated them. Was I said at 147, maybe also an unpopular opinion, I favor Crawford over Spence slightly because Spence can be outboxed, especially from a guy like Crawford. And I think Crawford could build a lead early and sustain little damage in the early parts of the fight to where he won't wear down. Like Spence can wear you down throughout time. I don't think he's the biggest puncher in the world. He's a strong guy, a strong puncher, strong enough, especially if it goes to your body.
Body snatch.
Yeah. You know, and so I slightly favor Crawford in that. And even though I don't rate Charlo the best middleweight right now, to me, you have to beat the man to be the man. Triple G's the man until he gets knocked off that totem pole. He's the man. That's just, you know, it is what it is. But if I had to bet, and the odds were straight up, you're gonna get total fair judging. You're gonna get total fair refereeing, no matter where the fight is. I would probably favor him versus any middleweight right now. I'd favor him over Triple G just because I think 2 years ago, where Triple G was 2 years ago to where Charlo is now, I would still favor Triple G. But that's not where we're at. Canelo, I think Charlo can beat him. I just think he can score enough points. He would never win on a card, but like I said, it has to be honest. And I'd favor him against Jacobs and Saunders. That's how I separated it. Not necessarily a popular opinion, but I don't know. What do you think about the top? Who's your top three guys?
Ironically,
Bud.
first two, and I would take the other brother, Jamel. Cause don't get into it. Like Errol is probably the hottest, most popular American fighter right now in America. But when you look at Jamel's his resume and his switch to a degree, because his brother is just known to be look. I'm gonna get his brother just flat out dog, and we went through those years like we know he gotta have it in him. They twin brothers, and now he's, as far as fighters concerned, he can outbox you and he can outbang you if he wants. So as far as skill level, I would say he's probably as far as fighters, he's probably got the best skill level. With Spence, the way he approached the Peterson fight was new for you watching Spence. Like, you're a little tactical. You going straight down the middle with stuff. I'm not used to Spence throwing jabs. It's just like when Triple G fought Lemieux. Yeah. It's like, oh, snap. Okay, you got that in your repertoire. Cool. With Mikey and Bud, you are everybody. That is just, that's what it is. I mean, if you want to throw somebody in there, you could probably throw Wild in there on popularity because he's a heavyweight. But it's best. But it's just a punch. Yeah. It's just a punch.
That's the only thing he's number one at.
Yeah, he just got the best punch in boxing. He's got the meanest right hand in boxing, period. But that doesn't equate to best fighter, best boxer, So, yeah. Because because everybody on the list is undefeated, You could make an argument for Leo because, but one loss, who cares, really? You can't really make an argument for Gary because he's too inactive. Yeah, I can't even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very short list. Yeah. All right, we're gonna cut it off there, guys. 30 minutes in and out. It is what it is. The dog days of summer are here, like we said last week.
These pit bull dog days, press canal dog days.
Again, follow us on Twitter at Cheap Seats Box, iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Rate, review. You will be the next unofficial sponsor. Help us out, people. Haven't got one in a little while, a review part of it. We got actually ratings, no reviews. Go ahead, rate us. Make fun of us. I don't give a shit. Say whatever you want. Just give us 5 stars. I don't give a shit what you say. Make it funny, and I'll definitely read that motherfucker back. Fucking talk shit about me. I don't give a damn.
Do it, Paulie Malignaggi.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, go ahead. He's my boy. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Anything else, JP? Anything? Nothing?
This is where the fighters fighting the fans commentate.
And we do it just like you from the cheap seats, because we ain't buying no tickets, goddammit. Peace.
Believe that I'll never be shamed again. Again, I'll be the next heavyweight champion. Call me crazy, but no one can fade me. I'm the product of the projects. Lost and crazy. Throw your hands up, Mr. Bruno. Ride. Big Mike Tyson about to brutalize that ass tonight. No hesitation for the whole nation. I'll beat that ass so bad I'll probably violate probation. Do demonstration as I strategize information. Intensive